Hey guys, so I am going to be doing lesson number 3 today, and today we are learning about who is the greatest Bible storyteller, or not Bible story, but storyteller. So the first activity that we're doing is Goofy Games. For this activity, you guys don't need to worry about it because the MC directs it, but just a quick summary. You guys are they're gonna connect with each other and life group leaders. So they will get to play circle stories where the kids create a story by adding sentences to the first sentence to create a story. For example, for this life group, you will be sitting in your life group and you will be mediating what the kids are making up. For instance, I can start and I will say, I went to the zoo Saturday. And the next person will say, I went to the zoo Saturday and I bought an ice cream. Then the next person would say, I went to the zoo Saturday, I bought an ice cream, and it fell on the floor, and so on and so on. So they're just kind of making up a story, getting them ready for the storyteller or parables. So now we're going to move on to our second life group. For our second life group, or life group number 1, because the first one was Goofy Games, it's called Soak It Up. And for this experiment that I've already torn apart, you guys are going to have it in this Ziploc bag. You're going to have your styrofoam plate, which I already took out. It's sitting right in front of me, and I poured water in it. You will have your water in this, what is this thing called? What is this thing called?
Jar, mason jar.
Mason jar. And you will also have a black marker. And you will have a tissue paper. Now the tissue paper, we put 2 in there just in case you mess up and things like that. So this activity will introduce the lesson of the day. The kids will do a scientific experiment to see the tissue paper soak up information so it can spread to others. So again, you need your styrofoam plate, you'll have your water bowl, your black marker, and tissue paper. And now I'll continue. Tonight we're learning about the stories Jesus told called parables. What are they called?
Parables.
Very good. So let's find out more about the importance of parables by doing a fun experiment. So I'm going to place my bowl in front of me, right in the middle of our circle here. I'm going to pour out the water that's in the mason jar, which I had already done. Close it back up. Okay. And I'm going to have this napkin sitting right in front of me. Okay. All right, guys. So tonight we're talking about the stories Jesus told to help his listeners learn. Jesus knew that people needed to hear and listen so that they could grow in their relationship with him. When Jesus told a story, the listener would soak in the information he shared. So boys and girls, this water represents us. I'm sorry, the water represents the Bible stories. I'm going to make across 3 lines. This line represents you, this line represents another friend, and then this line represents your friend's friend. Okay? So, oftentimes the stories were to help the listener learn something they didn't know or learn something they needed to learn in order to grow and make a change. So we are going to put this, let me sorry guys, let me do it this way. We're going to,
Got it?
will you hold it real quick? And right there, just leave it right there. Point it down a little bit. So we're going to put this in. And the water is just going to be going up. And it's going to be soaking. And it's going to be soaking up. Sometimes you got to put, wow. You see that, boys and girls? All the different colors. There's blue and I see red. And as we soak up the information that we're learning, we also have so much knowledge and we share with our friends. And our friends soak up the information and they understand what we're learning about. And then you start kind of lowering it down. They start wanting to spread that news to other people. And then they soak up the information. And you just kind of lower it down. Keep lowering your napkin down so that it can catch. And boys and girls, then you will see that as we soak up the information, we can infect others and they will continue to grow and grow and grow. And so will you. So it's important, guys, that as we listen to the Bible story, that we are soaking up the information because it only infects other people in a positive way. When we read the parables that Jesus told, we soak up the information and it leaves an impression on us. Just like this tissue soaked up the color from the water bowl, it left an impression of color on them, and that color spread to our other friends and infected them, and they spread. Parables can bring color to our lives and help us understand the important life lessons that Jesus wants us to learn. When you guys are done with the activity, you can ask the following question. Why do you think that Jesus told stories to say something important? What is your favorite Bible story and why? Do you have a story to tell about when God answered a prayer? And that's it, you guys. It's basically allowing the kids to understand that as they soak up the information that we're teaching them, that they too can infect others and they will be left with an impression on their hearts just like the others do. But we have to read the Bible in order for that to happen. All right. So that was our experiment. Super duper easy. I'm going to put that to the side and we're going to keep moving. All right. Life group number 2, the great storyteller. This activity will reinforce the lesson of the day. Kids will look at a parable and have a discussion around the parable. So all you'll need for this is a Bible. You might get a couple so that, if the kids want to look it up on their own and things like that. All right, guys, I need everyone to sit in a circle. During the large group time, you heard that Jesus used parables to teach his followers things he wanted them to learn or to know. Listen as I read some of the parables Jesus told. Let's see if you can tell me what Jesus wants you to learn from each one. As I read the story, I want you to think of the mood of the story, and when we are done, we're going to take a picture or capture the mood. I will do this by asking you to make facial expressions and then freeze. And when I say I'm taking, and then you have to freeze when I say I'm taking the picture. So for 3rd graders, have them work as a team to come up with a mood and set a scene of the story and then take the picture. So that the 3rd graders will have a little bit of more fun with it because they get to be a little more creative and work as a team. And versus 1st and 2nd grade, they just make a facial expression and then they freeze. So it's a lot easier for 1st and 2nd to kind of work on their own. And 3rd grade, it's a little more challenging for them to come up with the scene with their friends. All right, so camp counselors, please ask kids to which parable they would like to read and discuss. Read as many parables as time permits, but allow kids to choose the parable from the list. Leaders of older groups can have the kids read the parables, and leaders of younger groups, you can read the parables yourself. So, I have a list here of 6 different parables and also the scripture where they can be found. So the lost coin is found in Luke 15, verses 8 through 10. The lost sheep, the good Samaritan, the prodigal son, the mustard seed, and the persistent widow. So I'm going to go to the persistent widow, which is found in Luke chapter 18. And verses 1 through 8. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I'm doing it for 1st and 2nd grade. 1 through 8. Okay. The parable of the persistent widow. Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared about men. And there was a widow in the town who kept coming to him with a plea. Grant me justice against my adversary. For some time he refused. But finally he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or care about men, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually wear me out with her coming. And the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones? Why cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will see that they get justice, and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? All right, boys and girls, so I know that these were really hard words, but the word adversary means grant me justice against my adversary. So somebody who you find to be not a friend, okay, more like an enemy. And so the judge came, guys, and she kept going and going and going and saying, please, please, please. And finally the judge said, fine, give her whatever she wants. She's making me sick and tired. So if you're so sick, pretend you're the judge. If you're so sick and tired, what face are you gonna make? Okay, I want some of y'all to be the judge, and you're just sick and you're tired and you're just fine. And then I want half of you guys to be the widow. And I want y'all to be the one that's begging, please, please, please. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take the picture. Click, 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 click. Very good, you guys. You did awesome. You can do something like that. You know, you can pick a side. You guys be the judge. You be the widow. For the mustard seed, you guys pretend you have faith, and you guys pretend that the mountain is too big. You don't even know how it's going to happen. You know, you can do things like that. Now, you go around and you say, okay, guys, so what was that story about? Kind of give them opportunity to answer. And then in bold, you have what I want you guys to say. All right, guys, those were all great answers. Now, I want you to repeat after me. Say, Jesus wants us to know. Jesus wants us to know that you should pray and never give up. No matter what. Very good, you guys. Y'all did awesome. So you just kind of make them repeat and things like that. And again, for 3rd graders, say the story, and as you say the story, allow them like a minute to one could be the beggar woman or the widow, one could be the judge, some people can be the people at the court office watching. So just kind of have them make it up and then take the picture. So when you're done with that, after the activity, these are the questions you'll ask. Which one was your favorite parable and why? When Jesus comes into our lives, things change. We change, our attitudes change, our life changes. His teachings and stories take on a new meaning, and we understand how important it is to love others, treat others with kindness, forgive others, and give with a happy heart. Jesus told parables so that those who believed and followed him would understand how to live their lives in a way that would honor and show love to God. Jesus was the most amazing storyteller ever. Each and every story had a point and a purpose. What did it have?
Point and purpose.
A point and a purpose. Very good, guys. All you have to do is read them and you'll see just how incredible his stories are. What do we have to do? Read them. Very good. Awesome. That was life group number 2. Life group number 3 is our catch it, throw it. All right, guys, it's catch it, throw it time. The Bible says in Matthew 18:20, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I am with them." Are there more than 2 people in our life group? Yes. So this means that Jesus is with us. Is there anything too big for God? No. Is there anything too small for God? No. So let's take time to pray together. You can either share it with our life group or you can write it down on this prayer card. So you can pass out the prayer cards as needed. And please, please pray as a team.